Jenny here again with my Bokashi bucket. Looking in here reminded me of a question that is really common and we get it all the time, so I'll take it now, and that is lemons, oranges, grapefruit, citrus fruit. And people are always asking, like, can you put these in the Bokashi bin? Is it okay? And the answer is yes, it's always okay. But I understand the question because lemons and citrus fruit have always been a big no-no in traditional composting. They're kind of like acidic and they take time, they cause problems. Worms don't always like them in worm farms. If you have a worm farm, it's a problem. And in addition, quite often citrus fruit has a lot of chemicals on it, and that's another issue. So those issues one by one. I saw a couple of little bits in here. I could be really organised and have, like, you know, beautiful lemons to show you, but I don't, so we're looking at these. Right. Lemons, citrus fruit in here, oranges, lemons, no problem. The bucket is already very acidic. The process is acidic, so adding an acidic bit of citrus fruits makes no difference. But if you have lemons or oranges, chop them up a little bit first so that the microbes get a chance to have some surface areas to work on. If you have a whole orange, it's sometimes quite hard for the microbes to get in. This sort of fruit is very often sprayed with chemicals. In a perfect world, we buy eco fruit all the time, but you know, life is not always perfect. So we have long discussions about this in our Facebook groups and so on in Europe, but you just have to make that decision for yourself. My take is that I put it in here even if it has chemicals on it, if it's not organic. And the reason for that is that the EM microbes, which make up the Bokashi brand, this is like the power in the bucket, they are used in other contexts to actually break down poisons. For example, after the Fukushima accident in Japan, and even at Chernobyl and other places where you have radioactive chemicals involved, these microbes are used to repair the land. And even in that transition from chemical farming to organic farming, EM microbes are used to speed up that transition. There's a couple of the microbe groups that are in EM and in Bokashi. It's the like Rhodopseudomonas palustris and the other ones. They're really ancient microbes, and they honestly, they think that poison is food, so they're quite okay with it. They'll just get in there and eat it and convert it into something that's good to have. But you know, we can't see it, we can't measure it, it's a little bit tricky, so you can either choose to trust that and go with it or not. That's absolutely your call. Check emrojapan.com if you want to go for the research information. Worms, once this has been through Bokashi and it gets into your soil, the worms like it. Again, I don't know why that is. It's the fermentation process means that worms can eat lemons and oranges and grapefruit and citrus fruit. So you don't actually have to think about the acidity of this, you don't have to think about the chemicals that may or may not be on it, and you don't have to think about whether the worms will like it. If you just run it through your Bokashi bucket first, you'll find that it just works, and that is the whole point with Bokashi. It has to be like really easy so we can do it without a lot of complicated question marks. Life is complicated enough as it is without a lot of extra question marks, so let's just say lemons are good, oranges